Hello friends, in our previous session I showed you how to create the row level security through automation using the Tabular Editor script, in which we used the concatenate function of an Excel file and created the script that we used for creating the user roles and then applying the row level security table filter. So there were many friends who are requesting to have this task being done by the while loop or for loop or do while loop. So in this session I'm going to show you how to achieve this using the loops in the tabular editor script. So for this I am going to head over to the Power BI file. Let's make a copy of this and name this as uh, while for do while loop. So we have a table by name dim country which has the country labels in it. All the country information is present there. So we are going to loop through each of these country names and create the user roles and apply the row level security table filter on this country column on this table. So in order to loop through this country list, we would require an index so that we can use that index in the while loop or for loop. So for that I'm going to modify this table and add an index column to that. So going to add column, it will be index column from 1, and then I'm going to click on close and apply. So we now have the index column and we are going to loop through all these index values until we reach the maximum of the index. So save this and then open the external tools, Tabular Editor, and that this is the previously created user roles. So we are going to create this now using the while for and do while loop. So I'll delete these rows, then we'll start writing our script. So the very first thing is we have to pick the max value in the table. So this max value, so that we can loop only until this value. So we are going to create a variable by name v max dax, and we are going to write the string that will be passing into the evaluate dax function. So it will be max of dim country index column bracket close, and then we'll need one more variable where we are going to evaluate this dax. So v max index equal to evaluate dax is a function which is going to evaluate the dax that we are passing in the v max dax variable, and then we are going to have an integer initiated to 1 because my index value is starting from 1, and then a while loop is starting here with a condition. So I'm going to say loop through until the I value is less than or equal to the v max index value that we are going to get here. So we're going to open the flower bracket of while loop, and then going to create the user role like user underscore France Germany. So for that we write v country tax we are going to use first non-blank function to pick the country label from the dim country column. Then we are going to have a condition here. So I am using the calculate function to calculate the first non-blank value of the dim country, where my index is going to be 1 for the first time. So when my index is going to be 1, when it's going to 1, it's going to pick the label as UK, the first non-blank value. When the index is going to be 2, it's going to pick the label France. So this is how we are going to loop through the entire values until 11. So I'm going to pick the text. Now I have to evaluate whatever the DAX function that I have written. So where v entry role equal to then we will leave the final user text. You have to be always have the where as well. Then we are going to write role filter. So we are going to pick this code and appending the underscore user underscore text to that to create the user role, and then to apply the table filter we are just picking the text again and having that under the double quotes, and the slash is used to ignore the double quote. That's why we're using the black slash there. And then we are going to add our role to the model. So model dot add role. Then we are going to have text past here. Now we are going to add the table filter. Tables. We are going to add the filter into the dim country table. Row level security. to column is equal to plus v-roll filter then we have to increment the value of I, so I plus plus in column, then end the while loop here. So this line is going to add the user role, and this is going to add the table filter on table row level security filter on table dim country, and the expression for that filter would be country equal to the role filter, whatever the country in the double quotes, and we are going to add that user role based on the variable here. So let's run the script. It's saying operator less than or equal to cannot be applied to operands of type int and object. Okay. When we use the var variable var to declare the variable vmax index here, whatever the value that's being returned by the tags function, it's being saved as an object. So this variable vmax index is now acting as an object. So when we compare it with a numeric value I, which is an integer, it's not going to accept that. So instead of var, we are going to use dynamic here to declare the variable vmax index. So dynamic is going to change based on the operation that we are doing in the script. So it's going to be object here, but when we are comparing it to be integer, it will act as an integer. So let's run the script. You can see that we have created all the user roles. There were about 11 countries. So for 11 countries, I have created the 11 user roles, and it also has the country filter in that. You can see the expression here. So for UK, it's country equal to UK. For France, it's country equal to France. So Germany, it's country equal to Germany. So once we create this, you can select all the roles and then have the model permission as read. So once you have made these changes, you have to save these changes into the data model. So once you save these changes, you will have your roles created in your modeling. So you can test it here. So if you want to test it as Denmark, it's filtered into France and Denmark. Okay, let's go back. So we created this script using the while loop. So we will go and check for loop now. So I'm going to delete this again. I'm going to delete these rows. I'm now going to use the for loop. So we'll go with do while so that we don't have to change much. So I'll just cut this one and have it do there, and then bring the while after the bracket is closed. So in the do while, you start with do all the operations, and at the end you are doing the check of whether it reached the maximum index or not. This is going to be end of do while. So it's very simple. Earlier we were having the while condition here, we are now having the while condition at the end. So I deleted the rows here. Now I'm going to run the script. You can see all the 11 user roles have been created here with the country expression as well. Now we will check the for loop. Go to advanced editor. So here I'm going to have my for starting. You have to get this in I equal to 1 into the for loop, and then whatever the condition that you are placing in the while loop, you have to pick that and place it here, and the increment as well you have to pick from this Place it here, let it close. Now we don't need this, don't need even the while condition. This will be end of for loop. So for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to y v max index, and I plus plus. So I don't have any user roles now. I'm going to run the script. It created all the 11 user roles with the filter condition as well. So you can just select and have the model information as read only, and then save the changes to the model. So in today's session we learned while loop, do while loop, and for loop. So thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to our channel so that we can add more and more videos on these topics. Thank you.